Good evening and welcome to the St. Louis For School Virtual College Fair. Thanks so much for joining us. During this session, your camera microphone is off, so we cannot hear you or see you. So to interact with us at all during this entire session, please use the Q&A button that you have on the screen in front of you to communicate with us at any point with any questions with the representatives from the different institutions that we have this evening. Also, remember there are going to be other sessions that you can attend this evening as well, so please make sure you sign up for those after you finish up with us as well. There also will be recording of this session available as well to kind of review and look over things after we finish up with tonight as well. So let me thank you so much for coming in the very beginning at all. And now let's get things going and turn things over first to Ohio Wesleyan University.
Thanks very much, John. Hello, St. Louis, and thanks for joining us this evening. My name is Rob Walton, and I'm at Ohio Wesleyan University, or as you see on your screen, OWU. Much more exciting to say it that way. It shows our enthusiasm. I believe we're the only OWU out there as well, so we're going to claim it, OWU. What you're looking at is an aerial shot across the east end of campus. That's our academic side. You see a lot of academic buildings there. You'll be walking to this end of campus for classes and things of that nature. If you were to take that drone shot and turn it around 180 degrees, you would be looking right at our Jaywalk, named after James A. Young. That's the kind of the grand thoroughfare right through the center of campus. And you would be looking back at our residence side, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. Our signature program is the OWU Connection. Think big, go global, get real. I think that it kind of explains it right there. If we were to break it down a little bit further, it's the idea that, we want things like internships, job shadowing, study abroad, domestic study. We want that to any of those external experiences, we want that to dovetail into your academic 4-year experience. So it doesn't need to be bifurcated or siloed or segmented as a part. That really is just a big element of your campus experience. So think big. We're a small liberal arts institution. We're less than 2,000 students, but we think bigger than that. We have a global reach. One of the aspects of interdisciplinary programs and research, what that means is just that we want students who think outside of the box. You don't have to even know exactly what you want to do, when you start college. That's kind of the nature of the liberal arts experience. While we do have over 70 majors to choose from. Go global, global perspective, culture immersion. The picture you're looking at right in the center, that's our island biology class, and they spent the last 2 weeks of their coursework together in the Galapagos Islands. So just going right there on site, it's definitely on my bucket list of places to visit now. And the bottom is really my favorite part, the get real, right? So yes, you're gonna have a really fun and amazing 4-year experience at OWU. And it's going to serve a purpose too. So that picture at the bottom, that's Tom Dolan, who just graduated from OWU a couple of years ago. He did our Wesleyan in Washington program. So while we're very close to the state capitol in Columbus, Ohio, he actually traveled to Washington, D.C. through our OWU Connection experience, Wesleyan in Washington. He now works at the Capitol. So I can only imagine what his last 2 years working right there has been like. I'm sure that's just an incredible experience. And it started while he was an undergrad at Ohio Wesleyan. So to my earlier point about not knowing exactly what you want to do, I love this pictorial of Eva Blockstein, her pathway through Ohio Wesleyan. It's not linear, it's not straight line. She zigged and zagged a little bit, right? Art, zoology, environmental studies, kind of dabbled in it all, and then she did some internships. She did some travel learning. She was actually in that picture in the Galapagos. Did some research while she was studying abroad in Panama. She came to us from Maryland, and now her first job is in Fairbanks, Alaska. So again, a truly global reach. I mentioned we're near the state capitol and the largest city in the state of Ohio, Columbus. But we're in North suburban Delaware County, about 25 minutes north of the city. And everything that you can imagine that you would need as a student is really within a 5-minute walk of your residence halls. And then it's also nice to know that you have a major metropolitan area at your fingertips. So for many of you, that might be a similar experience to what you're already accustomed to. I mentioned that we have over 70 majors to choose from. If you're looking at just what are some of the most popular, just in terms of the student enrollment in those programs, politics and government, we talked a little bit about that. Health and human kinetics, maybe you're thinking about going into health sciences fields, maybe you're going on to teach, you want to do athletic training, physical therapy, OT. This is a kind of a pathway to those careers. Zoology, really kind of a specialized program in a liberal arts setting. We're a great place to study STEM and the liberal arts. We're right by the Columbus Zoo, so obviously possible internship exposure as well there. Business, being in a major metro area gives us lots of access to Fortune 100 and 500 companies. And then psychology is my favorite on this list because it's such a versatile degree that you can take in so many different ways. We have put millions of dollars into our campus experience. Our students live on campus. They're there on the weekends. They're there all 4 years. They have a great time. And so we wanted to make a place that students want to be. So Smith Hall is our first year residence hall. We literally just gutted the entire inside and built in a brand new building inside a historic shell. And then the bottom picture is our brand new senior apartments, and those are opening this fall. Total cost of attendance is the top number, but the one that's really exciting to me is that bottom number, the average out-of-pocket cost, $16,000. We're a private institution, so there's no in-state versus out-of-state. And if you're wondering, how do we make it such an affordable option? How are we on that Princeton Review's best bang for your buck? Well, if you have at least a 3.6 GPA and a 4-point scale, you earn our Branch Rickey Opportunity Promise. That's a $30,000 per year, $120,000 over 4 years scholarship that you do not need to apply separately for. There are additional scholarships that you can apply for beyond that. And I know that I'm up on time here. If you do want more information, you can scan that QR code. You can get a custom view book. If you go to owu.edu, I'm the only Rob in the admissions office. I'm not hard to find. I appreciate you joining us tonight, and go Bishops.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry, John. Were you about to say something? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh.
You can continue on. Just say,
Oh,
thank you so much
okay.
for the presentation. God, you can go ahead.
All right, thanks. Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank y'all so much for including us in y'all's evening. And I'm looking forward to being able to present on Kenyon College. Alrighty, so starting out, Kenyon College, we're located in Gambier, Ohio, an hour outside of Columbus, 48-mile straight shot. Here you'll see a picture of Gambier as a whole, in the sense of a middle path, which is our central artery, in which all of our academic buildings, residential halls, even our dining hall branch off of middle path. So throughout this slideshow, you'll see students sitting throughout campus, like I said, middle path right there. And it's a mile-long stretch at that. So when it comes down to being able to meet individuals as familiar faces and then eventually friends, you'll certainly see peers and faculty, staff members throughout middle path throughout your day as you're continuing with your schedule. Here's a picture of downtown Gambier as well, in which all of our restaurants are located, as well as campus safety. And so when it comes down to our student body, we're looking at roughly 1,750 for students overall, 50 states represented, 40 countries as well. And for our areas of study, on this list, you'll see a list of our majors, minors, concentrations, as well as in the bottom right-hand corner, pre-professional advising. So when it comes down to our classrooms, they're going to be discussion-based, like so many of our peer schools, with the average classroom size of 15 students. When it comes down to professional development opportunities, students are able to fulfill internships on campus throughout the school year with the Kenyon Review, our literary magazine, in which they employ 84 students every year as Kenyon Review associates. And when I say they're going to be the first readers and the gatekeepers for the thousands of submissions that the Kenyon Review does receive, they're exactly that. Their jobs are extremely important, and that goes a long way on their resumes, and just making them as competitive as possible for outside scholarships. In addition to our Kenyon Review Associates, we also have Gun Gallery Associates, in which our art museum employs 50 students per year. And then when it comes down to natural sciences, with Kenyon being known as the Writers College, the last thing I want is for students to think they have to necessarily take a back seat as a student in this throughout STEM. We place a number of research opportunities as well as internship opportunities for our natural science students. As you'll see, our summer scholars, in which we'll have 75 students remain on campus throughout the summer. And they'll also receive a $3,500 stipend as well. When it comes down to dining on campus, we only have one dining hall, that's Pierce. Very intentional. We're building a community, and we want individuals to eat with each other every day. And, we're able to take advantage of the rural location that we're in the sense of being able to collect 46% of our food within a 50-mile radius. When it comes down to athletics, so we have 22 varsity sports, 11 women, 11 men. And three of our most popular sports, swimming and diving, soccer, and I would say field hockey, tennis as well. So definitely check us out as well. And then when it comes down to, like I said, our location, we're a very intentional community. So last thing we want is for students to think, okay, I have to travel an hour out to Columbus to be engaged outside of the classroom. So when I say it's one of our ultimate goals to make sure students are just as engaged outside of the classroom as inside of the classroom, you'll see on the average year, we'll host 245 different events throughout the school year. And then you'll see a picture of our community choir. In addition to our community choir, we also have 13 different a cappella groups. Then you'll see a number of bands are also formed at Kenyon. Then when it comes down to our retention rate and graduation rate, we're looking at hovering around 90%. And then for our young alumni who find their work satisfying, we're looking at 88%. So that's certainly something to keep in mind when it comes down to not just academics, but your entire college experience. And then for these books, this is actually a group of Kenyan authors. And this wraps up our presentation for Kenyon, but I'm excited to be able to answer any and all questions. Thank you for y'all's time, and I'll pass it over to Sarah.
Actually,
I'm sorry if I messed up the order.
Cody might be next.
So sorry, Sarah.
My presentation's gonna be great, but I'll give Cody a chance. So.
Yeah, let Cody get a chance first.
Thank you. Just one moment. If you could just stay on for a second, give me the old thumbs up to make sure this is, again, sharing properly as we're talking about before we hopped on. Does that look good?
Yes.
We're in good shape. All right,
good to
fantastic. Thank you so much. My name is Cody Lennon. I'm an admissions advisor here at Ohio University, and I'm really excited to be speaking to you all today in St. Louis. So I guess, where do you start talking about Ohio University in 6 minutes? If you talk to any alumni, no one's going to be able to do that. But I'm going to try to keep it all in the nutshell for you. I'm going to try to do this kind of one slide wonder kind of thing. I don't have a bunch of pictures for you all today, but if you have a second tab open and you just Google Athens, Ohio, or Ohio University and the little Google images, I like to say it's really hard to find a bad image of Ohio University or Athens, Ohio, just because it's such a fun, quirky, and just really beautiful place to live. We're sitting in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, and it really shows. It's an incredibly beautiful place. But speaking more to kind of Ohio University, I think it's important. You can't really talk about Ohio University without first mentioning Athens, Ohio. It's really hard to tell where Ohio University ends and Athens, Ohio begins, or vice versa, just because the town of Athens and Ohio University are just so tight. It is such a tight community. I always like to say that that's kind of what makes us different. Students here on their kind of very first day or week or month as a student here at Ohio University tend to feel like they're a real part of the community, not just a part of the university, but a part of Athens. And I think that's why so many of us keep Athens with us as we moved onto our lives as alumni. Ohio University is a really special place. A lot of students that choose Ohio University choose it. They'll come visit, and I'll always ask them, "Why did you choose Ohio University?" And they're like, "It's something about the vibe of Athens and the university that's really special." One of our professors of immersive design in amusement parks always likes to say that if Disney were to design a university that was very intentional, like Disney World, with an immersive experience, it would probably look a lot like Athens, Ohio. It'd probably look like Ohio University because it really was built in that intentional way. So we were founded in 1804, which is why you always hear us call Ohio University Ohio's first and finest. We were the first in the state, and we do a pretty good job at what we do. But Athens as a town was actually founded to host a place of higher learning, to host Ohio University. So the town of Athens was founded in 1797, and Ohio University came right in 1804. And so all along the way, creating this town, creating this community, it's all about engineering this experience for our students to have a better, more progressive, more inclusive way of learning, which makes it a really fun place to learn. And that's kind of where that vibe comes from. Every brick that is laid on our uptown was very intentional in creating this experience. Speaking of our uptown, Athens is a really, as I mentioned, a fun and quirky place. It is a smaller town, but it doesn't necessarily feel like that. We like to say that Athens is on the map politically, socially, culturally, spiritually, and really every way that you would expect the town of a major research institution to be, which means it's really fun and it's really engaging. We're ranked in the top 100 art communities in the country. So there's always something to do, whether you want to go catch a concert on Court Street, or if you want to go see a gallery, or if you want to catch a football game or a volleyball game or something like that, that's all going to be included as a student for you, which means it's just a really good time. Sitting right now, we have about 17,000 undergraduate students, which puts us at a mid-sized university, but we have over 250 academic majors. And I like to say that if you're not quite sure what you want to do for the rest of your life, that's okay. Ohio University is a really safe place to go to school undecided. But if you are really for sure what you want to do, we also, this is a really great place to go because we have so many research opportunities. We like to say that the difference really is personal. All the time and experience that you'll have with your professors who are actively contributing to their field as they're teaching you about it really gives you some of that huge networking opportunities, as well as learn from true professionals, right? On top of that, I want to mention we also introduced the Ohio Guarantee Plus, which was Ohio's first truly comprehensive guarantee that includes fixed tuition and fees for 4 years, a shared commitment to an on-time, on-plan graduation, as well as lifelong benefits to all Bobcats for the rest of your life. And so what that means is once you start school here as a Bobcat, we are not going to raise tuition on you for 4 years, granted that you stay at Ohio University, right? That's really huge. So the number that we say when you start is the number you're going to continue to pay. We also want to make sure that you are only here for 4 years so that you can go get your job and start making money. But we want to make sure that we are there for you to make sure that you are on track. And if it's our fault that you graduate in 5 years, we'll make it right? So essentially, we will offer different classes to be flexible to make sure that you are graduating on time. As far as lifelong benefits goes, for one, just being a Bobcat is a really exciting experience. If you wear a Bobcat t-shirt anywhere in the country, someone's going to stop you and talk to you about their time here on the bricks. But truly as service we will give to you. We have an award-winning career and leadership development center. So throughout the rest of your life, you're going to be moving up in your career, looking for different jobs and stuff like that. And we're going to help you through that. I realize I'm running low on time, so I'll just let you know that you can find us on the Common application, and we have fee waivers and everything else like that. You're automatically considered for merit-based scholarships, and yeah, there's my contact information. Contact me and come to Athens. Stop share.
All right, next we'll have Denison University.
All right. Hopefully I have the right screen pulled up there. I can get it to go big. There we go. All right. Thank you all for joining us. My name is Sarah Burns. I'm not only an admission counselor here at Denison, but I'm also an alumna. Both my sister and I graduated from Denison at separate times. So I do have that student experience to kind of draw from as well. And so tonight, I definitely want to talk to you about some of the more intangible pieces about Denison that you really have to either hear from a real person or come to campus to see. I am going to start out with this slide with a bunch of facts on it just to get this stuff out of the way. You know, this is all of the information that you would really be looking for when you're first starting to research colleges. I know many of you may be sophomores or juniors who are just kind of starting your college search. So just to give you kind of a broad overview of Denison, this is the really like hard-hitting data that you're going to need. We are a little bit larger than some of my other liberal arts peers who are presenting this evening. We have about 2,300 students, and we really feel like that's a great size because that 2,000 mark gives you just enough of that diversity and just enough of that kind of slip of students where you know, you don't necessarily feel like you're getting claustrophobic with everyone in your business all the time. As an alum, I can tell you that there are still people I graduated with who I never got the chance to meet, but I still felt community with every single person on campus. And I know that to this day, if I were ever to meet someone who went to Denison, whether they were in my class or not, you would still have that same sense of community and of Denison pride. Our campus is also incredibly diverse. We do have all 50 states represented and over 50 countries at this point in time. So it's a really great diverse mix of students. Because you're living on campus all 4 years, you're really getting to grow and to learn with this amazing group of people who may have points of view and backgrounds similar to your own, but also points of view and backgrounds that might be very different from your own. And because of our size, you get the best of both worlds, where it feels a lot like a bigger college, but you still have the benefits of a small school with small class sizes. You know, average class size is 17. Our student faculty ratio is 9-to-1. I don't think I was ever in a class more than 35 students. So that's a lecture for us, is 35. So just to kind of give you some perspective of what the class makeup is. The one thing that I think is really important is that we are a 4-year residential community. So you do stay in some kind of campus housing all 4 years. And we've actually been investing in our housing over the past couple of years so that all of our residence halls in the next year or so will be refinished or completely remodeled, whether you're staying in a traditional community style dorm, whether you're staying in suite style housing or in the senior apartments. You have lots of different options, and you can guarantee that if you're going to be there in the next few years, that it's going to be either completely brand new or refurbished. As with my colleagues who have also mentioned their location, I think it's really important to talk about where Denison is. Granville is a really small and charming little town. It was founded by settlers from Granville, Massachusetts in the 1800s, and it hasn't lost a lot of that New England charm. So as you walk down the main street, whether you're getting homemade custard at Witt's, which was founded in Granville, or grabbing a burger at the pub, it's just that little extension of community where you have that strong community up on the hill where we're located, but then you have that community in Granville as well. And it allows our students to really feel like they're not in the middle of nowhere, that they have, you know, other civilization around them. Similarly to my colleague at Ohio Wesleyan, I have to say Denison is located about 25 minutes away from Columbus. They're to the north, we're to the east, so you pick a direction and you're going to hit one of us. We are definitely really proud of being so close to Columbus because of all of the opportunities that it provides. We're actually on the same side of the city as the airport as well. So if you're flying into Port Columbus, which I will tell you, from St. Louis, there is a 1-hour flight on Southwest, super cheap. You can be to Columbus really easily and just zip right out to our campus. So we feel really lucky to have our location where it is and to know that our students have tons of social and professional opportunities right up the road. I would be remiss to not talk to you about some of those professional opportunities, or I guess more of the outcomes of those professional opportunities. So you can see within 6 months of graduating, over 90% of our alumni are employed in graduate school or engaged in a service opportunity. Denison is a top Fulbright producer here in the United States. We like to benchmark the 5-year period after you graduate as well, because that 5 years, as any recent grad will tell you, can be pretty tumultuous. So it's not until about 5 years out that you really get settled into your career and start making traction with what you want to do. So you can see that about 99% of our alumni at 5 years out are employed or in grad school. But more importantly, because of the amazing Career Center and career guidance that we have, almost 100% of them are in their desired field. And so I think that's even more impactful to know that at a liberal arts college, whether you're studying humanities, social sciences, fine arts, STEM, you're going to be getting really solid guidance in the field that you want to be in. Really briefly, I do want to touch on our application process as well. You can see our deadlines there, early decision or regular decision, either November or January, super easy to keep straight. We do meet 100% of demonstrated need of our families, so just know that Denison is a pretty affordable place if you plan on applying, and we have a super holistic review process, which you can kind of see a little bit of a breakdown there. And just to make sure I stay on time, I want to go ahead and end with my contact information. We are open for visits. So definitely come up to campus. Like I said, it's a really easy flight up from St. Louis. I'm your admission counselor here at Denison, so please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns, whether it's about the admission process, coming up to visit, or just about what student life is like. As I said, both my sister and I are alumni, so we have a lot of great stories and experiences to share. So with that, I am going to finish and turn it over to my colleagues. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, next we're going to have Miami University.
All right, thank you, John. Let me go ahead and share my screen here. Okay. All right, so good evening, folks. My name is Mitch Arnett, and I'm one of the Senior Assistant Directors for Regional Enrollment here at Miami University. Miami is about 5.5 hours east of St. Louis. And we are located in a small college town called Oxford. There are roughly 9,000 citizens that live in the city of Oxford. We're about 45 minutes northwest of Cincinnati. This is a picture of what the uptown campus looks, or uptown just off campus looks like. So you can see that it's a quintessential college town, no major high-risers or skyscrapers, not a lot of traffic. So it's a beautiful place to call home away from home, and it's a great place to study. Miami is a public liberal arts university. A lot of people are surprised to hear that we are a public school. We are founded in 1809, making us one of the oldest public colleges in the country. You can see, of course, that it's a very beautiful campus with a lot of green spaces, trees, walkable. There's no need to have a car. Miami is named after the Miami tribe who inhabited the area. So that's why we're called Miami. You can see that we have roughly 17,000 undergraduate students. So we consider ourselves medium-sized, maybe a little bit large to medium-sized. We also enroll roughly 2,500 graduate students. We don't have a med school, we don't have a law school. So this is more of an undergraduate focused institution. We do have just over 120 majors, 90 minors. So this is a great place to come if you aren't exactly sure what you'd like to study, because we have a lot of different options. It's very common for our students to double major or have a major and a minor. Miami is also a residential university. So you'll see here that we do require our students to live on campus the first 2 years of study. 98% of our students live within a mile of campus. So it's a very residential university. Students are very active on campus with over 600 organizations. So being bored is definitely not in our vocabulary. Our students are really active in a lot of different aspects, both academically and socially. Average classroom size is about 30. The student-to-teacher ratio is 17:1. And we have just over half of our students deciding to study abroad. Every year, we do send our students just over 90 different countries, including our own campus in Luxembourg. So Luxembourg came to us as its own additional campus in 1968, and it's very popular with our students. We have 3 honors programs at Miami, including the Honors College, which is a great way to make Miami feel a little bit smaller classroom sizes, priority advantages to scheduling classes. We also have the Prodesse Scholars Program. Prodesse is a Latin term that means to benefit, and it's brand new for this year. Prodesse is a themed sort of cohort that students can become a part of. A very competitive program, but just know that it's a great opportunity for students to get plugged in research, maybe get to know faculty a little bit better. And then thirdly, we also have our Presidential Fellows Program. And Presidential Fellows is our full ride scholarship program. We do have enough scholarship funding for 15 students annually. We're top 5 in the nation for undergraduate teaching focus. Every year, we do have roughly 2,000 students doing research at any given time, including our first year research experience. We do allow students to get involved in research as early as their first day of school. So very exciting. We have 5 academic divisions at Miami, as well as the School of Nursing. So the College of Arts and Science is roughly 40% of our population. This includes all of our foreign languages, social sciences, humanities, hard sciences, and so forth. And then we have the creative arts, architecture, theater, graphic design, architecture, education, health, and society. We have engineering majors. We have 8 majors in the School of Business, which by the way is direct admission. And then we also have the School of Nursing, which is also direct admission. And nursing is the only major at Miami that we only allow students to enter the first year of study. Otherwise, students can switch their majors into any of these programs. So students are applying to the university rather than specific programs or majors, okay? Miami is a part of the Common Application. That's the only way that students can apply for admission. It is a $50 application fee. We also need 1 letter of reference, the transcript. We are test optional for fall 2022. So students really do have the opportunity to decide whether or not they would like to submit an ACT or SAT score. We have not published our deadlines for fall 2022 just yet, but this is what the deadlines are for this current year. You can see that we do have an early decision plan, which is a binding commitment. Students who apply by December 1st will get a notification on December 15th, and then early action regular decision are not binding. So you can keep all your options open. Here's some information on the accepted student profile. Students are getting about a B+ A- average. This is a weighted GPA. ACT average 25 to 31, SAT 1280 to 1180 to 1380. And like I said, we're test optional. This year we did receive roughly 30,000 applications, and we actually received more applications from out of state than we do in our home residence. We represent 49 states, 68 countries, and you can see some other information here about the geographic breakdown, or demographic breakdown, I should say. I also like to share that we have this tuition promise. So whenever students come to Miami, they keep the same tuition and fees locked in up to 4 years. So this is another great way to make your college education as affordable as possible. This is what we call the tuition promise. Here's some information on the tuition fees, room and board for this current year. So of course, just keep in mind that tuition fees do go up a little bit every year. We are able to have on-campus visits. So by all means, we'd love to see you sometime this summer, maybe this fall. So just go to our visit page to find out more information about visiting campus. And here are just some general acceptance rate information on law school and med school. 96% of our students are fully employed or in graduate school within 3 months of graduating. Here's my contact information, which I'll also drop in the chat. Thanks for coming by to learn more about Miami.
Thank you so much, Miami University. Now, to finish up our event, we want to make sure that you all have some knowledge and some wisdom to go on to kind of help you all through this college journey for yourself. And so if we could have our presenters answer this question for us, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
I would say that as you're starting this process, go in with an open mind. You heard from some great institutions this evening. There are many that could be a potential fit for you. So go in with an open mind and really ask those questions that you have. And if you're not sure what questions to ask, just keep taking information in. And as long as you're being honest with yourself about what's a good fit, and you're not as concerned about where your friends are going or what your friends are studying, and you're really just focused on what's a right fit for you, I know you'll end up with a really good outcome in the end.
If I could piggyback off that, I totally agree, keeping that open mind, but also you're in a really unique position in life, I feel like, where you get to just choose a new home for the next 4 years. So really take advantage of this time and really just go visit different colleges, walk around the campus, and just find what feels like home. And generally that's a good, that found that's a good ticket.
One of my biggest pieces. Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
No, I apologize. I was just going to say, I completely agree with Cody. Visit is always my advice. Hopefully this year will be a little bit more normal than last year. And you can do some overnights at schools that you're really, really interested in, because I think that kind of gut feeling is more important than you give it credit for. So if you shut your eyes, what is the first school that you picture yourself at, when you think about spending your time on a college campus? But just to give something a little bit different, I would say to just try and enjoy your senior year. Once you get to that point, if you're not, a rising senior, it's, one of the few times in your life where you should be able to enjoy yourself and just, look forward to what's in front of you. And this year obviously was different than normal, but visit, but try to enjoy being a senior in high school while you can. Sorry, Mitch, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So one piece of advice that I have is just to pay attention to all the deadlines. It can get a little confusing and stressful. So just really stay organized, because every college that you're applying to is going to have different deadlines for the applications and for the scholarships.
And to wrap it up, I would say check each school's school papers. Listen for the students, their voices. Are they silenced? If you can, try to connect with recent alums as well. Yeah, I would say yes, definitely check in with the students for every school that you're interested in. And yeah, see if, just listen to their stories and see if you can envision yourself in that same position.
All right, that was some great words of wisdom to help these students and these families in their process. And want to thank you all for coming to this session of the Virtual College Fair. Remember, there'll be other sessions to sign up for as well. When you leave this window, there'll be a quick 4-question survey that you'll complete before you move on. And don't forget, if you want to look at this information again, a video of this event will be available at strivescan.com/St. Louis for school. Representatives, thanks so much for giving your time with us this evening and spending time with us, sharing about your schools. And to the audience, thanks so much for coming as well. And hopefully sign up for another session to go to that one next. But other than that, have a great evening. And hopefully we'll see you again at our Virtual College Fair very, very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you all so much for coming. Appreciate it so, so much.
Hey, thank you, John. Have a great evening.
You have a great one as well.
Have a great night all.
Yeah. Good night, y'all.
Good night.